Hey everyone, this is Dark Angel Rob, and welcome back to my Megaman X series. Right now, I am finally tackling Megaman X7, a game a lot of people hate, as well as X6. But my personal opinion, I think this one was the worst in the series for a lot of different reasons. Yeah, X6 was bad, but to be honest, the only reason I didn't find X6 as bad as X7 is because at least with X6, I could use the ultimate armor and get through a lot of the annoying parts without having to die over and over. When I did my Let's Play of that game, I used the ultimate armor just so I wouldn't be dying a whole bunch of times unless I absolutely had to. But this game, there's nothing to save you for the mishaps that it has. Number one reason why I hate this game, it's so goddamn boring. And maybe that's just me. Like, X6 might be overall a worse game in general, but I hate X7 even more because of how boring it is. I don't want to go through a boring game.
X7.
And that's what X7 is to me. It's just completely effing boring. But I'll also get into some more of the issues along the way. But for now, let's start the show.
This is it. Ready to rock?
I'm always ready.
What the?
You wait here.
I guess you've heard of Red Alert.
Dead.
I should be safe here. Somebody must have leaked the information. Huh? Who's there?
It's Mia Luce.
It was the perfect plan. How did they find out? Hmm?
You're not very sharp, are you?
What the? You were the traitor?
No. I took care of him a second ago.
What happened? How did you do that?
Is it just me, or is the voice acting really horrible in this game?
Sometime in the 22nd century. Thanks to the Reploids, even the most devastated regions were set back on the road to recovery. But crimes perpetrated by Mavericks were on the rise. The Maverick Hunters was the official organization that responded to incidents involving Mavericks. One of the veteran members, X, began having second thoughts about the group's forceful methods. He removed himself from the front lines and instead worked to achieve more peaceful solutions.
Why must Reploids fight one another? I've had enough violence.
Oh my god. X, you're still going on about this shit?
Crippled by X's retirement, an underground organization filled the vacuum. And thus, Red Alert, the illegal band of bounty hunters who pursued Mavericks, was born. Soon, There was not a single Reploid that had not heard of Red Alert and their charismatic leader, Red. One day, a young Reploid and key member of Red Alert made the decision to leave the group. This decision would change destiny itself.
Goodbye, Red. I'll become a hunter. On my own.
And thus, a new battle began.
Alright, to point out, at least with X6, after Zero's quote-unquote death, X actually developed more of a personality, and he's like, okay, I have to fight. In X7, he's going back to that pacifist nature. Actually, I'll just blurt out say it. He completely is gone from the front line, which means you can't start playing with him. This is Megaman X7. Megaman X7. And you can't play with Mega Man X in the start of the game. Besides the intro levels. You know how you play with X? You have to either beat 4 Mavericks or you gotta rescue 64 Reploids. That's the only way you can play with X. So you can't play with X until like half of the game is done. Why did they think that was a good idea? And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the dialogue in this game goes by extremely slow. That cutscene lasted way too long. Trust me, you're gonna be seeing that a lot. But anyway, I should start talking about the gameplay. So, this is a new Reploid. They haven't said his name yet, but it's Axel. And he's kind of like the base in the series. Well, not in personality and weapons. He has a rapid-fire gun. To where if you played Mega Man in base, base had a rapid-fire weapon. He can also hover. And he gets abilities just like X and Zero. But God, do these characters move slow. I mean, besides the dashing, which you need to dash, their regular movement is slow as hell. And notice how I got hit? When you get hit, you take a century to get back up. That's just annoying. And because I wasn't concentrating, I ended up dying. But this game also introduced the 3D functions for the X series. Though it wasn't the first Mega Man game to do it, that honor belongs to Legend. You also have a dash rolling feature. And Axel can also air dash from the start, like Zero. The soundtrack on here isn't so bad. I definitely wouldn't put it as one of my favorites. And again, when you get hit, you take a century to get up. That can really ruin the pacing of the game. You can only hover in the air in one place. You can't really move far with it. This dialogue goes too damn slow. So basically what you have to do, you have to hit the spears when it turns red. And if you mess up, you have to start over. Now, I've played this part many times, and when you get to this area, the targeting reticle system is always random. I don't like that. I can understand if it always went up, down, left, right, but no. Sometimes it'll go right, left, up, down, right, left, right, left. It's always random, no matter where you're standing. And you can't control that either. Only by hitting R2.
Please tell me I'm through with the worst of it.
Now, the Legacy Collection, you can hit start to skip the cutscenes, but then you don't know what the hell is going on. And my god, we have to talk about the way the characters look. You see Axel's eyes? The characters look like they were made from clay, and none of their mouths move at all.
Can't believe I'm back here again. What the heck has happened? They really made a mess.
And what the hell did they do with Zero's voice? Yeah, this is definitely the worst voice acting in the whole X series. I know X4 was kind of bad, but it was laughable bad. This is just horribly bad. Zero sounds like a middle-aged / an old man. Zero should not sound like that. He should sound more like a teenager. But that's not all that's wrong with Zero. So, they brought back a similar combo system from X6, and he actually has 4 slashes instead of just the normal 3. But, you can't turn the slash anymore like you could in X4 and 5, and 6. And you can't use the Z-Buster anymore. And, they got rid of the vertical spiral slash, and instead replaced it with a horizontal one. Which, I like that one way better. X6, heck, X4, X5, and X6 had the right idea with the spinning slash. So I don't know why they got rid of it here. I mean, the one cool thing, I guess, is that you can reflect shots in Zero's swing with his saber. And that's useful. But they did bring back his double jump, so that's good. But the way he swings the saber is so slow compared to the other games. You would think on the PS2 with better hardware, he would have faster swing. Zero may be the most powerful out of the 3 characters, but he's not that fun to play with because of his slow swinging. I know I've already started off being negative, but believe me, it gets worse from here. There's a reason why a lot of people hate X7 just as much as people hate X6, or even worse. And besides the terrible voice acting, I had to do a few practices of this game. Honestly, I like the 2D aspect of the Mega Man X better than the 3D. Which is why in X8 it went back to full 2D. Well, rather 2D and a half, I guess you could say. But about the stage, when you notice in the beginning he said, "I can't believe we're back here again," this is actually the stage of the first Mega Man X game. So it's a nice little callback, I gotta admit. But 3D sections do not work with Zero. When you have enemies coming from all over the place, and you can't turn to swing at other enemies because, again, they removed that feature. And you see, the depth perception with Zero is awful. And you have to use saber swings against that thing, but you can't tell if you're close enough to it or not, because the 3D makes it so hard to do so. And if you get too close to it, you're gonna get knocked back. As you saw, I got knocked back into the pit and died. But something you can do is if you do a dash and hit the attack button, you'll do a horizontal sweep. Sorry. That's under my throat. And it doesn't help that he actually goes up closer to you. So you can easily get knocked off here. But the worst thing about X7, or at least one of the worst things, is the checkpoint system. You see I have 0 lives. If I were to die and lose my lives, I would have to start this level all the way over. The checkpoint system is non-existent. Even X6 had a checkpoint system. But you lose all your lives in the stage, you start all the way over. And that's just really bad game design. You should not have to start all the way over. Period. When the other games didn't have to do that.
Out of the way! Out of the way!
Huh? Wait a second.
Are you stupid? You're in danger if you just stand there. Get a move on!
Are you connected to this incident?
Incident? What are you talking about? Oh, here it comes. So I'll be seeing ya.
What's going on?
And this is the first boss in the game. Go tell Liz you can actually reflect back at them, but they won't do any damage. But I suppose it looks cool.
You've got some explaining to do.
Okay, I'll tell you everything, but later. Right now, I have to take care of that freak.
Why does the characters look so stiff? Oh my god.
You're Zero, so you can handle this, right? I'm Axel. Call me if you need a hand.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, this has become a real pain. I want a full explanation when this is all over.
I'll let you know, when I do unlock X, I probably won't be using Axel anymore. Reflecting those shots really don't do much. But it does help you get rid of that tail if you get behind them. Alright, bitch, bring it. You do gotta be careful at some parts with this boss fight. But for the most part, he really shouldn't get that much trouble. As long as you know what you're doing. And get ready for a lot of plot, and it's gonna go by real slow.
I'm not gonna run off. So could you take this thing off? It makes me feel like a criminal.
Feel like a criminal?
Okay. Maybe what I did was wrong, but like we were a perfect team, don't you think? When we kicked that big dude's butt, I thought, yeah, we would make a great combo. So, So where's X been lately? I haven't seen him around.
Sit tight. He's just beyond this door.
Why does that headquarters look like a judge courtroom?
Nice work, Zero.
So, you're the one who caused all this trouble.
I guess so. I had no idea they'd send that kind of gear after us.
Here? Who's after you?
I left Red Alert. Believe it or not, I'm a hunter.
Red Alert? You mean that gang of wannabe vigilantes?
Do you realize how much damage your internal bickering has caused?
I apologize for that, but I had to leave. As for what happened as a result, that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes? Do you have any idea?
X cool.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to pause it right here. But X is constantly bitching this whole game. I'm sorry for my choice of words, but I gotta call it like it is. He just constantly complains and complains. Like they just went all out with X's pacifist nature. And it's just so annoying. Do you have any idea why must Reploids fight one another? I want to stop this violence. Like at the very least, as much as I hate X6, like I said, they could have. Like X realized he had to fight. I'm so glad in X8 he's not so whiny anymore. But he is just constantly whining, and his voice acting is terrible. It's just annoying hearing him talk. Like if I could help it, I would just mute X's dialogue the whole time. And while we're at it, Cygnus, you can barely hear what he's saying. The voice acting really took a nosedive. A nosedive, guys. I'm just saying, it did.
All right, Axel. Why don't you start by telling us why you left?
Red Alert changed. They're no better than murderers now. They used me. We used to only attack the bad guys, but not anymore. I couldn't take it.
They're going to come for Axel, no doubt.
This is our chance. Red Alert has caused us far too much trouble.
How can you say that? If we fight, we'll fall right into their hands. We can't allow this madness to continue.
I know what you mean, X. But we can't talk them out of this. Sometimes fighting is the only choice.
That's quite enough. You need to back off and pay the dues for your crimes.
Oh my god.
Alia, what happened?
Unidentified transmission. Feeding to monitor.
You getting this, hunters? I'm Red, leader of your friends here at Red Alert. I never imagined our little friend would end up in your hands, but in any case, I want Axel back. Now, don't you worry. I know he won't come back easily. So how about this? Like you, we're hunters. We've trashed our share of Mavericks. So how about a duel? A duel to determine who the real Maverick hunters are. I'm sure you won't mind if we use the Mavericks that we've captured so far. So the last one standing wins. If we lose, we'll surrender Axel to you. And if we win, well, we'll leave that to your imagination.
You've got to be kidding. Axel has nothing to do with us. We won't fight the likes of you for his sake.
Well, pretty big talker for a retiree. We could care less about deadbeats like you. We just want Axel. He is there, isn't he? Now, you just sit tight, my boy.
They're
Fun
already
fact.
on the moon. are showing up across the map. I'll check for damage.
I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
Well, this is turning into a real mess.
X, you said I need to pay my dues, right? So make me a Maverick Hunter. Me and Zero make a great team, and together we could take care of Red Alert.
Are you mad? You have no business as a hunter.
I'm serious. It would be a perfect chance to make up for my wrongdoing.
If you had just gone back, the problem would have been solved. But I can see that won't be happening.
Right. These aren't run-of-the-mill criminals. They won't listen to reason. And even if Axel did go back, which he won't, would they stop their misdeeds? I don't think so.
Zero, you're my hero. Hey, I knew you'd understand. I always thought you and X were so cool. I want to fight. I want to be a Maverick Hunter.
Not just anybody can become a hunter, kid.
We're not getting anywhere with this. I'm ready to go.
No, wait.
I'm going by myself. As for you, you can do as you please.
Yeah. X, if I catch all the bounty hunters, you've got to promise me you'll let me be a Maverick Hunter.
Talk is cheap. Prove it to me first. And don't forget this.
Okay, I won't let you down.
Another pointless conflict has begun.
X, don't overthink this. This time our only choice is to fight.
Like every other X game.
We've made this mistake time and time again. Why must Reploids continue this accursed cycle of aggression?
Oh my god, X, please shut up! When are you gonna learn, dude? But fun fact, like I was trying to say before, the voice of Barry Burton from the Resident Evil series plays as Red. Oh, whoops, sorry. But yeah, they are going to go, these cutscenes are going to go by really, really slow. And the dialogue. Okay, they're not going to talk about the... They don't show the Maverick names. So I'm just going to try to go through it as fast as I can. Oh, I can't skip it. Another problem with X7. Constant dialogue. And what's with this hub menu? I feel like X4, X5, hell, even X6 had a better menu than this. Like, this just looks lazy. One of the only good things about this game, honestly, I feel like it's the soundtrack. So, because of this being in the PS2 era, or I guess I just wanted to change some things, you can go straight to the save, load, and options screen from this menu, which is fine. And like X6, you also have Reploids to fight. I mean, not fight, find. Although, I don't know if... Wait, yeah, you can lose them too. Because they have a dead / Toto on there as well. Like X6, they're gone for the whole game. Anyway, let's start the radio tower. As how Alia is saying, she wants you to work in teams of 2. That's what the character switch was for earlier on when I was doing that boss fight. So you're forced to start with X and Zero and Axel, because those are the only characters left. The one thing I don't like about it is if one character dies, then you automatically lose a life. It doesn't matter if you have another character in reserve. Tornado Tanyan? Is that really the best I could come up with?
Ready?
Can you hear me, Zero? Can you hear me?
Oh my god, what do you want? I'm probably gonna start skipping a lot of these. So we gotta make it to the top of here. And remember the replicas I mentioned? You saw how I rescued one, right? There was a spiked wheel coming towards it. If that wheel would have touched it, it would have died. That's right. In this game, you don't just worry about like a nightmare effect, well, because there isn't any, but any Reploid that gets touched by any Maverick is going to die. And for the life of me, I can't understand how Axel's hover works sometimes. 1 minute it's responsive, the next minute it's not. But because Zero swings his saber so slowly, going through this area as Zero is not that good. I mentioned how I probably won't be playing with Axel once I get X. Not because X is so much stronger than Axel.
Can you hear me, Axel?
Now we got our first mini boss.
Can you hear me, Zero?
Oh my god, what? Yeah, Elliot, I wouldn't have noticed the big green eyeball thing. One of the major things about Axel is that his attacks are so weak, you really don't want to play with him, so you have to constantly mash the shoot button. So, you're probably going to really need him for this fight. And he just went right back in his shell the moment he came out. Like, what the hell? Oh, hurry up and die.
Ready?
Can you hear me, Axel?
The thing about Axel is, in the X series, we don't know who created him, and you never find that out. The only thing you know is that he's a new generation Reploid. Oh, yes, I needed that card. Yeah, you need Zero's double jump in order to rescue that Reploid. These guys with the shields are annoying. You have to use Axel for these enemies because you're just gonna end up getting yourself killed if you don't. The targeting system isn't all that great either. They should have had it to where if you're shooting with Axel, you can aim. You can't do that with it. You can barely hit those bags. I'm better off using Zero doing that. Like I said, the design choice for this game is just not all that great. What the hell? This shit. Yeah, I was not gonna kill myself for that heart tank. I'll just come back for that later.
Around and around! Welcome to my silly stage. Here goes nothing. Yeah!
So, meet the first possibly insane and possibly gay Maverick in the series, because oh my god, he's flamboyant as hell.
What? No funny? But I tried so hard, so hard! Okay, try again, huh? Around and around!
Okay, I get the picture. Let's get this over with.
The Mavericks in this game are just annoying. Just straight annoying. There is nothing interesting about them at all.
Here I go!
Great, I'm low with both of them. And you really can't get close up to him, so you have no choice but to use Axel and shoot him. Oh, this might hurt. Getting caught in that move does a ton of damage. And you can't skip this either. So she's basically explaining shit that we can figure out ourselves. The replicas you rescue will be in the rescue screen. I don't think I was missing any Reploids. So, like X5 and X6, you have the chip function, which you can use to power your characters up. But whatever chip that you put on your character, they're stuck with that character. And it automatically goes to no when you don't want it to be in any of these selections. So I can hit X trying to speed the process along, and I can accidentally go to no. I have to do the process all over again. Retry. Ah. Oh, I see. So they did change it a bit. So when you die at the boss, you automatically start off back at the boss. Okay. I can work with that.
You haven't changed a bit, buddy.
I remember back when I played the original one, when you died in the game, you had to start the level all the way over. But I guess they got it to where if you get to the boss, you start back at the boss. So that's good.
You come up electric tower to stop broadcast of my groovy dance! Around and around!
Yep, if Red saw it, he'd get mad and smash the monitor anyway.
Oh!
The one interesting thing about Axel, since he used to work with these guys, he'll have more interesting dialogue than with X and Zero. And by God, X's is the worst. But you can probably see why. Alright, so let's kick his ass this time. You're probably wondering why I didn't give any parts to Axel, because again, I'm not going to be using Axel once I unlock X. So if I can help it, I'm going to save all my parts for X and Zero. He's not a particularly hard boss. It's just that I was so low on health. And with Axel, when you hit the dash button repeatedly, he rolls. Don't worry, next time I die, if I do end up having to start the level over, I will cut it out. So you won't have to see me go through the whole process over again. That's annoying. Zero does so much more damage. Yeah, this isn't working. This is definitely an Axel fight. Try to see if I can get some hits on him with Zero, but I couldn't. But you see, these fights go on a very long time. So you can imagine how the boss rush is gonna go. Which I will be completely editing that out. No, I didn't, fat pudgy fucker. So, Axel gets a ray gun. Unfortunately, it only shows it for the character that you got it with. Gonna go ahead and save it here. And there's a loading screen for everything. The only reason why it's going so fast compared to maybe the PS2 version, because one, it's on the PS4, and two, I'm using a solid state drive.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you. This is the reason I ran away from Red Alert. Because I can copy the shape and abilities of Reploids. But it's far from perfect. Even with the copy shot, I can only copy the form of Reploids my own size. For the rest, it's only possible to copy their abilities.
Where did you learn such a skill?
That's the thing. Even I don't know where I picked this up.
You don't know? How could you not know?
Dunno. I don't remember. Red found me, and I've been defeating enemies ever since.
So that's a little bit of backstory with Axel. But as I said earlier on, in the X series, we don't know where Axel came from or who created him. He just suddenly appeared and this is who we get. But I think this is a long enough part for this episode. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this part was a little bit negative. But I kind of warned you guys when I got into X7 that I wasn't going to be so friendly with this game. And I really don't like it all that much. But I said I was going to do all of the X series, and that's what I'm doing. Except for Command Mission, I refuse to play that game. I'm sorry, making Mega Man X7 RPG was just a terrible idea. And for what I've seen on that game, it's not worth me doing a Let's Play on. I'm not going to do it. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you didn't, you can leave a dislike and leave a comment on why you didn't dislike it or why you did like it. And if you want to follow me on my day-to-day life or when I post about upcoming next Let's Plays, be sure to follow me on my social media. I will put that in the description below. But again, thank you guys for watching, and this is Dark Angel Rob, and I'm signing out.